Heidi-ho neighbors, Radio Goji here.
I'm Soylent Greg.
And welcome to the Squeeze the World video podcast.
Welcome to the Big Orange Couch, where we talk about video games.
And other stuff, if that comes up as well.
Yes.
Today is Saturday, October 6th. This will be going up tomorrow, the 7th. Normally these go up on Saturdays, but because of timing and everything, I had to swap this out. But I have a toy video going up, so
oh, nice.
I flip those. Either way, not a lot happened as far as news goes this week, so we're just going to shoot the shit for a bit.
Kind of goof off this week.
Why not?
So what you playing this week, Patrick?
Dragon Quest XI, of course. I am a very good ways into that.
Nice.
I got really excited when I reached a part in the game where the narrative kind of took a turn toward like what Dragon Quest III did.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's like these orbs, the colored orbs you have to collect. And each of these orbs is more or less locked behind like a self-contained like quest line.
Okay.
And just doing stuff like that. I really like that kind of story structure, so I was really excited for that. I'm almost done with it, but
okay.
I don't know if there's more game after that. I've also been playing Dragon Ball Fusions on 3DS, like I have been. And also I started up Undertale because I just got that on the Switch, so...
Yeah, Undertale Switch Collection.
So, yeah. What about you, Greg? I know you haven't been playing too much.
Yeah, as mentioned on the previous podcast, I've been on vacation. I just got back a couple days ago. We went to Orlando to the Disney World, which is the Dark Souls of theme parks. Because it's very difficult and hot and brutal. But if you get good, it's magical. Yeah, so I have not been playing much in the way of video games. I did play a little bit, though. I brought my laptop with me to Orlando, and occasionally in the hotel room before we would like pass out after a day of walking, I would play. And I got into this game. I don't know if you've played it before or heard of it. Have you ever heard of FTL? Faster Than Light?
I've heard of it, yes.
Okay, it's like a roguelike game. It's like a game that you can play without
roguelike these days.
Having to click, or it came out in like 2012.
I know.
Like
it's an older game.
And you've got the little grid of your starship and the people, and things catch on fire and they die, and it's a lot of fun. I enjoy it. So I mean, that's pretty much the only thing I've been playing this week. I'm excited to at some point get on my PlayStation and download the PlayStation Plus games for this month, because one of them is Friday the 13th, the game, which I have wanted to play ever since falling in love with Dead by Daylight. So I'm excited to try that out, even though the game itself is, unfortunately, from what I understand, dead because of a lawsuit. There's a lawsuit going on over the Friday the 13th trademark, and the developers are essentially not allowed to do anything while it's on except for, like, basic connectivity and bug fixes. Like, they can't add any Jason content to the game or anything like that.
Friday the 13th, Jason goes to court.
Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty to just sort of randomly end like that is sort of appropriate for the Friday the 13th franchise.
I'm not particularly interested in any of the in PS Plus games for this month, but they did leak 2 of the games for next month. This freaking early, and one of them is Yakuza Kiwami.
Again, I get fucked over. I bought Dead by Daylight.
You got Yakuza 0 though,
but it's still, I could have tried a Yakuza game free, and it's the first one. I wouldn't have had to spend $20 on Yakuza 0.
I hear that Kiwami isn't as good as 0, but it's still good, but it's not as good as 0 is. I mean, 0 was made later, but...
What's the other PS Plus game for this month? I know Bulletstorm is the one for next month.
I don't know.
The Bulletstorm remaster or whatever, which... I wasn't a huge fan of Bulletstorm when it was originally on the 360.
I don't remember any of them from this month.
I'll look it up at some point. But yeah, that's what I'm playing this week, or played this previous week.
But yeah, like I said, as far as news goes, there really hasn't been a whole lot to talk about.
There's not a ton of news.
Billy Mitchell still wants to be relevant, but, you know, I try not to put too much onto that, because it's just... a guy who got caught cheating using emulation to put up a high score, and there's no way that he can prove that he didn't use any, exploits through the emulation to get the high score. So they banned him from like Twin Galaxies and those who were, the big higher ups for keeping high score. I think Guinness as well. But now he's saying, well, I can do it on the real thing because he's a big baby and he's a big baby with a beard.
Laser League is the other game. Sorry,
okay.
Didn't mean to interject. I've never heard of it, so
and like
I probably won't play it.
And like Triforce Johnson is super like into
Triforce Johnson. Is he related to Lizardo Triforce Head?
No. I don't know exactly what he does. Like Isaiah Johnson. He goes by the handle of Triforce.
Sorry.
I don't.
I assume he likes Zelda.
I assume so too. He's like always like the first in line for like Nintendo launches of pretty much anything.
Oh, okay.
But he runs like I think he runs a competitive gaming circuit or something. But he's like super into like documenting the Billy Mitchell wanting to play Donkey Kong on a real thing. Like I've seen pictures of the cabinet he's going to use. It even has a big sticker on the front that says "Not MAME" on it.
Nice. They actually had a combination machine at the resort that we stayed at that I really liked. It was Donkey Kong Jr., and the original Mario Brothers.
Oh,
and
neat.
I played some Donkey Kong on that. It was a lot of fun.
I'm more partial to Donkey Kong Jr. myself. I mean, Donkey Kong is good. Mario Brothers it's there.
Billy Mitchell definitely like the direct like godfather of like the like horribly toxic streaming Twitch.
Yeah.
Like speed running communities that we have today. Like that's like PewDiePie's spiritual grandpa right there.
What else happened?
Remember when it was like a big deal when somebody was like the best in the world at a video game because there were like 6 of them?
Yeah.
It was like, I'm the best at digital ping pong where you hit the paddle back and forth, and you're the best at this game with the tiny cowboy man who shoots upward at the Indians that fall towards him. We call it Murder the Engine. Because games back then, weren't politically correct. Like
they still aren't sometimes. It depends on where they come from. Japan sometimes. But Japan's
in a corner and murder some Indians.
Japan's not that politically correct.
I will say this: if I passed a game at an arcade that said in like an old timey prospector voice I would put a fucking quarter in the machine because God only knows what will happen.
Have you played Mad Dog McCree?
No, I have not. What is that?
It's one of those like really old light gun games. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's not like super old. It's like from back in like the 90s, I think. Mm-hmm. And it was like. It was kind of like Virtua Cop, or where you had the guns at the cabinet and everything. You shot at the screen.
Oh yeah, but Time Crisis. Or
it was all like
poison
FMV.
Oh, okay.
Like with real actors and such, and it's pretty much notorious for being super super hard.
Oh, okay. Sort of like what's the majigger? The other FMV, Dragon's Lair or whatever it was.
Yeah, Dragon's Lair was hard. Like, and Space Ace was also a Don Bluth FMV game, but
okay.
I mean, other things happened. Reggie Fils-Aime spewed a bunch of crap out of his mouth because it was the day that ended in Y.
What happened with our dramatic Nintendo mouthpiece, Righto?
Well, I think he was trying to defend the fact that Nintendo Online has a shitty mobile app with it.
Welcome to Defending the Indefensible with Reggie.
Nobody wants this mobile app. Everyone, it makes more sense for things to be integrated in with the games and everything, but our good old pal Reggie, My Body Is Ready Fils-Aime, decided to try to defend this by saying, we here at Nintendo, these aren't the exact words, this is... Reggie quotes as made fun of by Rado Goji.
An excellent series. Excellent vintage.
I'll write a book of these. We here at Nintendo like to do things differently, whether it works or not. He tried to cite examples like look, if you're out, because the Switch is also a portable console, so if you're out of your house and want to play Splatoon 2, it's going to be easier to talk to your teammates and whatnot through the mobile app or something. First off,
no.
Why would you be playing a multiplayer game out in public? This is a wireless. It's a Wi-Fi only system. It doesn't have 3G.
Why would you want to
anything.
look that dorky?
B, Yeah, I guess it would be easier to talk to your friends. Use Discord, not a shitty mobile app. Those are my main arguments there.
A Discord mobile app, I suppose.
Well, yeah, you'd be using a Discord mobile app, but you don't have to use Nintendo's proprietary shit.
Look,
it's the exact same thing.
I want to
call the friend that you're playing with.
I want to scream at 12-year-olds, and I don't want to have to place a phone call in order to do it.
Fair enough. You don't want to use up your minutes to.
But yeah, I would have noted many instances. I would have noted other popular instances of Nintendo doing things even if they're wrong, like the Virtual Boy, the Super Scope, and Waluigi.
You mean not including Waluigi in Super Smash Brothers?
Whatever.
I don't really care either way.
General, but
the chairs were the colors.
Look, we should just be happy. Frankly, like you can raise some stink about it, but frankly, we should just be happy that Nintendo has online play at all, because I honestly think their multiplayer connectivity department is just like one dude with a dial-up modem who's still on his using his Netscape demo disc to connect to his 56K.
I was glad that Nintendo had online play. Then they started charging for it.
That is true. Have you
for no reason?
Have you started paying for Switch Online?
Of course not.
No.
What am I going to use that for?
Yeah, we don't have friends.
You're
our friend. You're our only friends. Tenkaichi and what's the game's called?
Slashing with Games.
Slashing with Games and Gerard.
Gerard?
Our friends.
Oh, your friend Gerard.
Yeah. He commented on one of my Facebook threads, pimping out the show.
Well, he comments on a lot of
that
stuff,
too.
Doesn't he? Yeah.
I keep meaning to get on Team Fortress 2 with you.
That's okay.
With him, not you. I wouldn't play Team Fortress 2
Well,
with
I don't
you.
play Team Fortress anyway.
Yeah, you suck.
But you see, you can do that on your PC without having to pay extra. So
yes, you can.
There you go.
You can play Rocket League with the people who are on the Switch already,
but not with people on the PS4.
And you can talk, but they can't talk. So that is an advantage.
Unless they're playing on the PS4, because I don't think that the cross-play is still enabled for that yet. I think it's just Fortnite.
I think it's just Fortnite. Sony was like, okay, that's another news story we can talk about. Sony decided to finally reverse their course on the whole PlayStation as a walled garden where we own your life and you don't get to play with anybody other than the PlayStation pals.
Greg didn't watch the entire podcast episode from last week.
Oh, I fucked up.
I talked about that.
Whoa.
But I'm willing to hear your thoughts.
No, it's fine. No, it's bullshit. It's funny to me because they've been pressured into doing it, obviously, but they've only been pressured into doing it for the one game because, I mean, frankly, it's the one game anybody cares about. It's
Minecraft,
the one game.
Though.
It's the one game that everybody has a login for that they would play across multiple devices.
Fair enough.
I don't see too many people doing that with Minecraft. I don't see
Rocket League.
A lot of people. My 6-year-old loves Minecraft. He has no login for Minecraft. He would be over the moon if he could send his Minecraft villages that he built from his Switch to the PlayStation or whatever, but that's not a huge deal. But Fortnite, everybody has a login. It tracks your season stats. It tracks your fucking, I don't know, whatever rankings they have. I haven't played in forever. All the stuff that you've paid for to have your person do the dab when you shoot another man with your pie gun from across the map and he explodes into a burst of candy-coated fireworks, which is what I'm assuming happens in Fortnite.
I just assume that. I don't play, so I've seen Greg play it once.
Yes.
He got second place one time and lost to a guy with Vegeta in his name.
That's right, I did, and you told me that you would be fine as long as I didn't lose to the guy with Vegeta in his name.
And that was the guy. It was down to those two.
It's a fun game. It is a fun game.
I'm sure it is, but it's just
they have
not
an
for me.
absurd number of active players. I forgot what it was that they listed as their number of active players. And, I'm not even considered an active player. Because it's, people who've played within the last 30 days or whatever. Hang on, let me pull it up. As of this, 125 million active players across all platforms. That's how many people have played a game of Fortnite within the last 30 days. 30.
Oh, okay.
That's insane.
That's
big.
Pretty good.
I mean, for like comparison's sake,
Players Unknown Battleground.
these
when it works.
The single largest
did they fix
game,
that?
the single largest game on Steam, Dota 2, traditionally pulls about 1% of that in monthly, maybe about 1.5 million people.
Okay.
So it's huge. It's its own, ecosystem. We're good gamer people to talk with about games. We don't play the popular games. I only play emulated Sega Saturn games.
Apparently I play JRPGs that nobody buys.
Apparently, that's a shame. I'm sad that that's not doing better.
I mean, it still may pull through. I'm just very doubtful at this point, but I don't know. Fingers crossed, I hope this doesn't affect the launch of Dragon Quest Builders 2 over
I know
here,
you were definitely hoping for that.
That's like one of the only games left that would supersede my backlog as to me playing it right away after it came out. Because Mega Man 11, that came out recently, I haven't gotten it yet. I was going to do that day one, and I played the demo. I'm like, this is okay, but it's not something I would be...
It's not a must-have.
Right. And I'm sure that, people would disagree. I know a lot of people have been playing it and are super into it.
And go back to slouching. Assassin's Creed Odyssey is out.
Yay.
They definitely have paid all the right people, because I see nothing but fucking articles about Assassin's Creed Odyssey everywhere. They did a good thing in releasing in a dead zone in the middle of an incredibly fucking packed holiday season. That's the kind of thing that we should talk about during the down episodes like this. Here's the stuff that's coming out this holiday season and whether we think it's going to rock or suck. Red Dead Redemption 2, it's probably going to rock. Yep. Fallout 76, it's probably going to suck.
Are those the only things though? Because I know that a bunch of games got pushed up to September because of Red Dead Redemption 2.
There's
Spider-Man and Shadow of the Tomb Raider.
I thought there was 1 week where
this game
4 major releases came out or something. They maybe have rearranged things. Like I said, I've been on vacation. I haven't done shit for prep work.
Now speaking of Assassin's Creed Odyssey, it does kind of go into something I actually did want to talk about this time.
Oh, good!
Because I remembered.
Let's talk.
I saw an article put up on Push Square a few days ago regarding something that Assassin's Creed Odyssey did, something that games have been doing here and there, and that's getting certain special editions, basically paying more to play the game early. And the article I read was kind of an editorial thing about it, and why he says that he thinks that more major publishers are going to start pushing toward that, and why it is a worrying thing.
So before we go any further, because I'm not up to speed on this, what exactly is it that they're offering people? You said it was for an additional $10 or something like that?
It was some of the special editions of the game. I don't know exactly how the price is compared to just the regular vanilla version. But some of the special editions contained the ability to play the game 3 days early or something like that. So you could get the special edition and play 3 days before all of the plebeians who didn't pay extra.
The peasants.
To get before the official release date.
The console peasants.
And I see it as less of...
I'm a console peasant, y'all.
They're trying to pull the wool over their eyes, and it's more like they're releasing the game 3 days before they say that they're going to, and then you pay more to not be late. I think it's bullshit, especially considering that a lot of major publishers don't even finish the fucking games until after they're released anyway, because especially with Ubisoft, when they released the same Ubisoft game, Assassin's Creed, Far Cry, or Watch Dogs, which are all basically the same game with varying levels of stealth and different backdrops painted on them, they're always stupid glitchy messes that need patches of varying degrees to fix after release. And it's not like you're really missing out on anything by not picking them up, right at day one, because it's the exact same game that you've been playing for years. And, I mean, I don't play Assassin's Creed, I don't play any of those games, but I would be more than happy to, not pick the game up right away, and then come over to it, like, when it's on sale or something like that later on. So I won't be paying more money to play it 3 days early, because I don't really care, but...
Well, how are you going to be up to date on the controversy otherwise? I'm not joking. I honestly think that the principle that I find it interesting that this is where the premium is being put, because a lot of our entertainment right now is sort of this in the moment is what you're paying for, because you can go to spend such and such dollars to go see a movie in the theater, or increasingly now you can wait much smaller and smaller windows of time. You have to wait to get the film on Blu-ray in your own home, to get it cheaper, or to just rent it through a digital video service.
Or a streaming service.
Yeah, for a couple of bucks.
So that's why I don't even go to the movies anymore.
And that's why a lot of people are no longer doing that. And when that becomes a majority of the market, what you have to do is sort of create these momentary spectacles in order to drag people to the movies. You don't go see Infinity War the day it comes out because it's so much better than watching it on your big TV at home. You watch it the day that it comes out so you can talk about it the day after it comes out with your friends and with people, at your work, and can discuss without fear of spoilers, that sort of thing. So it sort of becomes a social thing, and I think that's what we're seeing with video games now, because that compression is starting to happen with video games, because I don't have hard data backing this up, but it feels to me that, with a few exceptions, that the time frame from $60 video game to $20 to $30 used game at GameStop or Game of the Year edition has shrunk in the last few years.
Well, that's because a lot of people... I mean, and it's been this way for a long time, ever since, used game stores like GameStop made it easy to, trade in games and get some modicum of volume back.
Even though it's not much.
But, a lot of people... I mean, despite the fact that... that publishers like Ubisoft are trying to go for more of the live service sort of things to it, and just keep adding DLC and shit to make it to make you keep wanting to go back to the game. There are a lot of people who will just play the game once and then get rid of it.
Right. No, of course.
And there are also a lot of people who don't buy the games, and they'll watch people who did get the game straight away. Like, there are people like, every time a new game comes out, I can be dead sure that the Game Grumps are going to be playing it. Pro Jared's going to be playing it. You're going to have
dozens of people on Twitch, when the early version of the game comes out, playing the entire game through multiple times, streaming the entire game to get views and clicks.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm not going to watch any Assassin's Creed videos because that doesn't interest me. But it's like, I don't even know what the point I was trying to make was anymore. But the whole paying...
That happens to me too. You get kind of out in the weeds. You start doing like the Ian Malcolm thing.
Called digression.
Yes.
And you have this on top of the microtransaction bullshit that they're already doing. And they have gone the route of making the game shitty with long drawn out grinds, unless you go out of your way to buy the experience boost, because people are even going out and saying in reviews and things, if you buy the experience boost, it's a much better game. And I think that's bullshit too.
Of course,
because you have these, and I point this out all the time. I know that I'm channeling Jim Sterling, because this is where I get most of this.
That's fine.
Most of this from.
Please channel Sterling.
You have all of these publishers and whatnot saying that, we need all of these microtransactions and shit because games are more expensive now, and we need to make up for that because we're still keeping the games as $60.
Right.
Even though you can be dead sure that these games are going to sell well enough to more than cover the cost of making it, microtransactions or not. When that whole debacle with Star Wars Battlefront 2 happened, EA came out and said that if they didn't put those microtransactions in, they would not have suffered any. So what was the fucking point? They're
Make
just
more money.
greedy and want your money.
Yeah, of course.
Or it's not just that they want more money, it's that they, again, Jim Sterling, want all the money in the world. And if they don't have all the money in the world, that's not fucking enough for them. And again, as I've said many times, that's where I start having a problem with it.
Yeah. Well, the problem that I have with it is that games... I start talking with my hands.
Chaos.
Games... Chaos. They were not in the old days, in the 16-bit, 8-bit days. But there was a period of time where video games were an extremely good buy in terms of entertainment, in terms of money spent versus time entertained, let's say, versus a movie ticket, versus a box set of a television show.
I look over at my DVDs.
Not versus
Stargate
a book.
SG-1.
I think books are still probably the best return on investment. In
I would
terms
say
of
so, yeah.
But that is sort of not happening as much anymore. There are games that do this. There are many free-to-play games and games with the whole live services focus that are focused solely on providing you hundreds and hundreds of hours of as much bland, mushy, Destiny-flavored entertainment that you want to suck down your nutritive eye holes. But when you see a game like the new Assassin's Creed, where there is a premium to purchase the game within that sort of hot button moment time frame, and there's also microtransactions, and then there's purchases to like, the thing that gets me is how have we gotten to the point where it's a good, where we've got customers wanting to pay money to play less of a game? Like,
I don't know.
I'm wandering here. I'm in the weeds.
I get exactly what you're saying, and I totally agree. It wasn't even 10 years ago where we saw the first, at least one of the first examples of day one DLC.
Oh, yeah.
With Mass Effect 3, and it's having the day one DLC pack where you had to pay to get Javik in the party, and he had his own missions and whatnot. And people called bullshit on that.
I vaguely remember that.
People took to the streets and said, "What is this bullshit?"
Was that shit on the disc too? Was that the shit where it was on the disc, but you needed to pay to unlock it?
I remember that being Marvel vs. Capcom 3.
Okay, yeah.
And people were calling them out on this, and
horse armor.
And
horse
now
armor seems so quaint now.
And now it's happened so much because the developers and the publishers don't care. It's mostly the publishers don't care. That it's become an unfortunate reality, and people just accept it now.
Well, I mean...
And that's where we're getting with microtransactions. People are just... I remember... Well, again, wasn't that long ago when people complained whenever DLC packs come out, saying that... Or when they first came out around with like season passes, saying, we have planned DLC packs coming out. It wasn't like we just thought of this cool thing, we're just going to add it as DLC that you can get later. No, it's like, we already have planned DLC coming out, and then people were, up in arms about it. And then when the most recent Spider-Man game came out, people are like, oh my gosh, I can't wait for the first DLC pack to come out that we already know about, that was announced before the game was fucking released! People are used to it now.
Angry moment. Put that flash underneath of him.
I can't do that.
That's
in
okay.
editing.
I'll do it. I'll do it, not in editing. I'll do it live. That's awesome.
Sorry about that.
No, that's fine. Rock on.
I'm apologizing to headphone users.
I think you should apologize to them, but I'm also going to accuse them. This is on you. Gamers are terrible consumers. They are. Who else gets excited for, to spend extra money to purchase downloadable content that should... Imagine people who are, like, super excited to buy piecemeal, like, deleted scenes from a Marvel movie. Like, these are movies, scenes that were just left on the cutting room floor. Like, oh, gee golly, I can pay an extra $1.99 for this scene of Chris Evans as Captain America walking through a hallway, making 2.7 quips as decreed in the Marvel script Pan-Disney Alliance guide to writing an MCU script. I'm so excited.
I like
totally,
MCU, so I don't know.
this totally is not bullshit. Gamers put up, in terms of being bilked out of shit, gamers put up in ways that consumers in other fields or consumers in other media just would never put up with. Imagine paid DLC for books or for television shows. Like, it would never fly. Consumers wouldn't buy it. Nobody's going to purchase these. Imagine paying, the paying extra to get it early. Like, if they did that shit, if the fucking Harry Potter books came out now and they did that shit, where if you buy the $70 deluxe edition of Harry Potter and the Order of the Penguin Dildo, you can read it a week early
by J.K. Rowling
and yell things at J.K. Rowling on Twitter about it. Like, people would buy that. I'll give them that. But the rest of it, like, nobody would pay for that shit. But gamers fucking lap it up. Because we are the worst class of consumers that exist. Now, the good news is that a lot of people aren't buying it. Like, for example, look at Fortnite, what I just said. If the new Assassin's Creed game sells 1 million copies, that'll be great. Fortnite had 125 million players. Do you know why? 'Cause it's free, motherfucker. Almost every person, this is anecdotal, of course, but almost every person I know who plays video games is no longer a sort of $60 single-player game person. They all have one game that they play regularly, be it Destiny...
One second, I gotta plug this in.
Oh, sure, sorry. I'll continue solo. Be it Destiny, or Warframe, or Overwatch, or... I don't know, one of the Shootman's games, like
Call of Duty.
Battlefield or Call of Duty. And they may purchase, a franchise occasionally. They may purchase 1 to 2 games a year that are in a particular series that they have love and nostalgia for. Like, everybody I know goes out and buys the new Fallout game, or they buy the new Elder Scrolls game, or they go and buy the new Red Dead Redemption or the new GTA. But by and large, they're focusing on one game that is providing them a longer term satisfaction. And that, I absolutely think, is what is driving every fucking company to this whole garbage live services model, where every game is not just a game that you play once, you enjoy, and you put away the way that you watch a movie or a TV show.
And you can come back to it later if you want to play it again.
Yes, it becomes an active part of your lifestyle. And the problem is that when every game wants to be that, nobody has time to play any of these games. Least of all, video game journalists, am I right?
They suck at Cuphead.
I think Cuphead.
Is that still relevant?
Yeah, Cuphead's great.
No, I meant that situation. I don't think it is.
I know. And I think if anything causes another... I don't think we'll ever actually have another video game crash. I think people have been predicting a second video game crash since shortly after the first video game crash happened. Mm-hmm. I don't think it'll ever happen, just because games have become such a part of the mainstream in a way that they never have before. Like, shit like Fortnite is never going away. Single-player games might crash and burn, but if anything does it, it's going to be this rush for all of the developers to sort of get in the door at the same time with their game that's going to eat all of your time. Yeah. And you can see even shit like Red Dead Redemption 2 that's coming out in a month or two. You can see where Rockstar has put in all the framework already to have another Grand Theft Auto Online type live services thing. And there's going to be people who buy that, and they play it, and they don't play anything else. And then what the fuck are these other, AAA games that need to sell 3 million copies in order to be profitable going to do?
I'm pretty much at a point now.
They get shafted.
Yeah, I'm at a point now where if they're
rant over.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just going to add to it. I'm just at the point now where if there was a video game crash, I would not shed a tear. I would not care.
Well, you shouldn't care to begin with, because you shouldn't make allegiance to soulless corporations part of your identity.
Right.
To begin with.
But I'm just saying, like,
Nintendo.
I have, a lot of games that I really enjoy playing and all that, and I already own those. They're not going to go anywhere. And what really does seem to be going anywhere are the new games that I'm interested in. I can probably count on my hand the number of games that I'm probably going to get day one.
This makes us good games journalists, by the way.
We're not games journalists, though.
What are we? Game grumps? Well, I'd say we're game grumps, but that's a thing already.
That's copyrighted.
We're game curmudgeons.
Yeah, there you go.
We're game grognards.
The game curmudgeons.
I like game grognards.
Game Scrooges. I mean, you got... I think, like... What's even, like...
I'd love to fix your bum leg, Tiny Tim, but you didn't pay the microtransactions. You didn't buy the extra leg DLC.
It's just... What is coming out over here that I'm interested in within the next couple of years? EDF 5 and the Persona dancing games, and those are the only ones that I know of that are absolutely coming out over here that I'm interested in.
Tonight you'll be visited by 3 ghosts. Each ghost is a planned $5.99 DLC pack. That's a DLC expansion to Scrooge's Adventures. If you don't buy the DLC to A Christmas Carol, Scrooge just goes to bed, wakes up on Christmas, and, like, fucking cancels some kids' health care.
Yeah.
See, you don't get the full experience if you don't pay for it.
And Star Citizen 2 Star
Citizen still not out.
Still not out. Why did I say Star Citizen 2?
Star Citizen 2. The reason Star Citizen is not out is because we are working on Star Citizen 2. It will truly be everything we promised with the original Star Citizen.
You know what else is that? Elite Dangerous. That's out.
Look, I'm just really looking forward to Star Citizen 5 on the Nintendo Switch.
I'm looking forward to... self-promotion.
I'm going
to build this.
Fuck yeah! I'm going to build a Super Sentai robot!
the videos are going to probably be up next week, but I'm going to be building this set by set. It's Muteki Shogun from Kaka Ranger. Or the Shogun Megazord from Power Rangers.
Incidentally, I love that this is we've done no planning and are just bullshitting episode, and it's longer than any of our other episodes.
It's about the same.
It's a couple minutes longer at this point. Well, I can bullshit about something else.
I don't know. We still have LPs to do, don't we?
I suppose we do. What are we even LPing right now?
Deadly Premonition. We haven't played that in months.
Yes, you're right, we have.
Last week, a couple weeks ago, we got drunk and played the SNES Classic.
Yes, that's right, we did.
We played Star Fox 2.
I beat Star Fox 2.
So you watch that as well. And hopefully... next week...
Well, hopefully there'll be some controversies between now and next week that we can make jokes about.
Something that can be worth talking about, really.
That's not another fucking Assassin's Creed game.
You can change your name on PSN soon.
Oh yeah, I heard that. So, if you've been walking around with that Cosby Lover 92 PlayStation Network name, now you can change it to something that has aged a little bit better.
But until then, I have been Rado Goji.
And I'm Sorlin Greg.
And we'll be here next time. Join us, won't you?